Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and this is how to use garbage. Yeah, in Pokemon, who would have known? And before those jokes roll in about Garbodor being actual garbage in battle, yeah, that's kind of how it is. When we look at the stats, it's going to be 95 with its highest stat in the attack. So its most powerful hit is going to be pretty much mediocre at best, and then okay to bad defenses. I mean, I'm not trying to just immediately trash on this Pokemon, but it's not that impressive. We look at it like this, because 80 with 80 in the defenses, still fairly frail. Even if you fully invest into defense, you're going to find a tankier Pokemon in a lot of different aspects of the game. I mean, a Pokemon like Muck is going to be much more tankier, and it does have a couple of other things that it can do. So your diversity isn't really going to be there as just a pure poison typing, and that's kind of it. So not really much else to speak of. Your speed is a general tank, not outspeeding much speed, and your special attack is pretty much not going to be that usable. So we're going to go for offensive tankiness maybe. We got typing pure poison type, so no dual typing, nothing else to really work around. We do have a lot of goodies though, like poison type in its rawest form, still really powerful. We only have to worry about ground type attacks mostly, like Earthquake is going to threaten us, and then a couple of psychic attacks here and there. So overall, it's going to be a very consistent typing defensively that you can play around the Earthquake really well with like a Flying or a Levitate Pokemon that can deal with them, or if they just don't have any more Earthquake left, you're going to do pretty well. And then you get a ton of resistances. Fairy, Grass, Bug, Poison, and Fighting. So I mean 5 resistances for 2 weaknesses, one of which not being that common, still a pretty good typing. Hopping into Pokemon Showdown, we're going to see Garbodor is like a setup Pokemon that does some anti-setup things and throws out a gunk shot here and there. That Spikes and Toxic Spikes going to be really good. You set up the Toxic Spikes and you can combo that with the rest of your team. That until a Poison type comes in, which is weird, like if a Poison type Pokemon comes in, it absorbs the Toxic Spikes. So that's why it's not that incredible of a move. It is kind of risky. Same with Spikes. They could have Defog or Rapid Spin. However, if you just use it for setup and you might be able to get something out of it, works out pretty well. But with Toxic Spikes, if you combo that with Hex or Venoshock, you're going to be able to get a lot of damage out of it, as well as just the utility of Poison. 2 layers turns into Toxic, 1 layer is just regular Poison. So do as much as you can, and then you have regular Spikes as well. Hurts grounded foes on switching, 3 layers, so go for a layer of Toxic Spikes, layer of Spikes, Toxic Spikes, Spikes. It's doubtful that you're going to be on the field for that long, but it is something that you can do. And then you have access to Haze. Talking about Haze is going to be really interesting on Garbodor because you kind of bait your opponent is the idea that if they get really greedy, they're like, oh man, I just get to set up 3 Dragon Dance, I get to go for 2 or 3 Swords Dance, then you might be able to make it work out in your favor really well. Now if they don't get greedy, it's going to be difficult because you are slow. The idea behind this is that with Haze, you set up Spikes, they go for setup. You use Haze, well since they're faster, they're going for setup, you Haze that away, and then that gives you opportunity to Spikes or Toxic Spikes again, and whenever they try to go for that setup, you just cancel it out. Now if you feel they're going to be greedy and go for like 3 stat boosts, like it's a Calm Mind Pokemon, they're going for like 3-4 boosts, then that means you can use Spikes, Toxic Spikes, then Haze. It's really how well you read the opponent to get the most effectiveness out of it. That they're committed and they have 4 stacks of Calm Mind or something, you're going to be able to haze that away as long as they're not attacking you on that right prediction and get a lot of utility out of it with the Spikes and Toxic Spikes. Then you have Gunk Shot, just high base power, good damage, 120 power, 80% accuracy, and that's kind of but 120 on the power is pretty nice and 30% chance of poison. As for item, Citrus Berry kind of works out. Gives you some health back, makes it slightly harder for you to KO. The ability Aftermath is going to work out, and if you have a Rocky Helmet, you might be able to get some usage out of it. So use the Rocky Helmet, and then like a Gunk Shot, and then they hit you, and then you Aftermath them. Might form into a KO in some weird situations, or say you get a layer of Spikes, Toxic Spikes, they switch out, or they do something like a Volt Switch, they try to gain advantage in some way, and then they hit you with 4 Rocky Helmet damage, and then Aftermath on the Spikes and Toxic Spikes, you're going to have a lot of effectiveness just getting hit and going down to moves that make contact, and that's going to kind of be the hope with Garbodor. So that means you can run as a pure defensive tank if you want to. So this is going to be pretty nice if we just go all in, Impish Nature, max hit points, max defense. They're not going to do too much physically. We will need a special tank on our team if we want to get something out of this though, because now we're kind of in a problem if they hit us with like a Psychic or even just a regular high base power special attack move. It's kind of going to be a ridiculous hit, so we will have to worry about that, and that's really all there is to it. You hope you get hit in Aftermath, Rocky Helmet enough after setting up Spikes and maybe getting a Haze in. that's all there is to Garbodor. But then we do have Cursed Amnesia. So if you want to play a bit out there of a set, then that way you can run the max hit points, max defense, and then Preference. Because if you feel that you're going to be going up against more defensive Pokemon, you run the Impish Nature. If you don't, then you just run that Careful Nature. What this does is Cursed Amnesia going to give you a ton of stat boost, and then you can go into a fourth move. Fourth move, if they have Steel-type Pokemon, then you're kind of in trouble, and even then, Gunk Shot isn't that incredible because of the 80% accuracy. So we're in that position of stacking damage, and we don't even get Poison Jab on Garbodor. That's kind of sad. So really, our physical options are very, very limited. I mean, if we go Drain Punch, then that means there's a chance they have a Ghost-type Pokemon. We won't be able to do much of that, so it's really just going to be like Gunk Shot, actually. That kind of sucks. So we have to hope for the best. We remove the Pokemon on their field, and then we might get some kind of sweep with the Garbodor. I'm not really seeing too much out of it. So the idea is you curse when they have physical, you Amnesia when they have special, you rest. So you go like Amnesia, Amnesia, rest, you wake up, curse, curse, go for high damage, Gunk Shot. I would really only use Gunk Shot if I could get +3, +4 on that curse, and then you might have some damage. As for the ability, we're not going to be faster than anything, so Stench doesn't work. And then we have Stockpile. Stockpile doesn't really do much for us. We can maybe add the Rest as well, but we can't really Rest Talk. But then we don't have any damage. We don't have Power Up Punch, so we can't gain stats in this way. And I feel it's a decent waste of Stockpile, unfortunately. So Toxic is an option, and then like Toxic Stalling, Rest, Protect. I don't know what we can do. There's not really too much we can do. Like Protecting on the turn, we would wake up on a Rest. Could be pretty nice, but again, it's Toxic Stall. It's reliant on the opponent not having any Steel-type Pokemon. They don't 3-hit KO you, you're Toxic Stalling them with a trash bag, and they just get to feel bad about themselves. That's kind of all that Garbodor is good for. So if you guys enjoyed the video, that's how you use Garbodor. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for watching.